Hey there, we have like eons of stories to tell, so if you want to follow us along on this journey and keep up with all the stories that we have putting out, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hope you enjoy. Thank you. Hey, what is up, everybody? Chad here. Okay, so this story is amazing. Okay, all right, stuff is popping off here. Okay, let's just go into it. Okay, so when we first pick up in this story, all right, so we actually get like the origin of like where life came from on Earth, pretty much, right? So basically what happened was there was this celestial, right? The Alpha Celestial. His name was the progenitor. He was like flying by, like he was like, like traveling throughout the universe and stuff like that, and like eventually like he fell. Right, he fell to the earth, because he was dying and stuff like that, basically. And like when he fell, they basically like tell us that he was basically like infected. He was basically like infected with the horde, the little insects that have been like troubling the Avengers this whole time. He was basically infected by those. They were killing them, basically, eating them from the inside out. And basically while he was sitting there dying, he's just like vomiting pretty much. So like with that happening, that basically gave life to basically the earth, because before that there was no life there. Like there was nothing. No animals, no plant, like nothing could exist on Earth, basically. And we find out that this story has been told to us by Loki, basically. He's like spitting the facts to Captain America, pretty much, telling him about like what's all's going on, why Loki's doing what he's doing, basically, stuff like that. So while he's doing that, we actually see that Ghost Rider, he's like listening to him. Ghost Rider, he's like under all of them. He's actually like tracking down the Celestials, and he like found them. So basically like he's just like hearing everything that Loki's saying, and Captain America, he's just like, like whatever all that stuff is, that Celestial stuff, that doesn't matter anymore, right? We're living life, we're living we're living life, right? Like whatever our life is going to be is what we make of it, not whatever the Celestials had going on. That's not none of our business, right? So he gets back to telling his story, right? And like when he tells his story some more, we actually found out that there was like another celestial that actually came to Earth, pretty much. Another celestial came looking for the progenitor, basically. Coming to see where he basically like describes it as his lover, which I guess I'll just go with it. Basically looking for his lover, the progenitor. So like soon as he gets there, this is where the Avengers, like the Avengers, like from the 1 million years ago, this is the celestial that they fought. This is the one right here. And basically this celestial right here was already like like sick, like he was already like dying and stuff like that. He basically came, got infected, got beat up by the Avengers, and that's basically what happened. So with that happening, after that, the rest of the Celestials show up, and they just massacre these Avengers. Odin, the Star Brand, well, Odin's alive, he's like the only one alive. The Star Brand, the Iron Fist, the Ghost Rider, all of them, they just get wiped out, all because they came and killed that one Celestial. So basically what happened was that was basically like the first host, pretty much. They came, they left, did all that stuff. So like when we find out, like Loki's still telling his story, the Celestial that they supposedly killed is right there with the Dark Celestials. It never died. It was just sitting there, just like like still sick the whole time. Basically the disease, the hordes, they basically didn't kill this one, and they just like changed them, like basically like the same way that they did with all the other Dark Celestials. That's pretty much like what they are, pretty much. So while Loki's telling his story, he's like, him and Captain America, they get into like a little fist fight, and like as soon as he does that, Ghost Rider throws this chain at Loki, grabs him. So Ghost Rider and Captain America, they leave out of there. They get in his Hell Charger and they go. So with Iron Man and Doctor Strange, they're both flying. They're both trying to like save people, basically. And like the entire time where they're flying and trying to save people, Iron Man, he's just like sitting there frantic. Where's my GK2 at, motherboard? Like what's up with the GK2? Like update? Can I get an update on the GK2? Just frantic the entire time. And every time motherboard just tell him, oh, you got 11 minutes, ETA 11 minutes, Mr. Stark, stuff like that. And we're basically like following Tony Stark while he's basically trying to like save all these people, basically. So with Ghost Rider and Captain America, they end up like running away, right? They end up leaving the Celestials. They contact Tony Stark and ask him like like what they want to do with him, basically, like where they want to lead him to, because they basically got to fight these guys off. Like if they don't fight these guys off, everybody's gonna die. They have to like go and fight now. So they end up getting wrecked. They're Ghost Rider's Hell Charger, it gets wrecked. Like they're basically like incapacitated. So they get out. But as soon as they get out, Iron Man and Doctor Strange, they show up. They show up to the battlefield. As soon as they show up, the insects show up. Like it's basically just like WWE War Rumble. Like everybody just coming down the line all at the same time. Like As soon as the insects show up, Black Panther and Carol Danvers show up. And it's just like, oh my god, like so much stuff is going on. And as soon as they show up, Thor and Hulk show up. Like everybody's coming to this one spot and they're all just like getting ready for it. So basically, this is where everything gets amazing. It's so cool. Oh, I love this part. Okay, so you got Thor and Hulk, right? Thor and Hulk. They have the blood of Ymir. They both, like, they're just like sitting there, you know, they're just talking to each other basically, and like they start eating the blood of Ymir, right? Basically like eating the frost giant Ymir, the very first frost giant, and they start growing in size. They grow colossal. They are huge. Like they're basically like matching the same size as the Celestials, and the Celestials are like 2,000 feet tall. So they've got serious firepower going on right now, basically. So when this going on, Iron Man, he goes up. You know, he's still looking for a GK2. He's like, where my GK2 at? Motherboard, like, what? ETA on the GK2, like where is it at? Like, come on now, tell me something. And the motherboard, you know, is talking to him, and Tony Stark, he's just like, all right, well, my plane just got here, and he like flies up. He's like flying up, like Carol Danvers, Black Panther, they're all just fighting off the bugs, because basically Carol Danvers and Black Panther, they both of them, they charge themselves up with like the same like power source as the bugs. Like they're just like wiping those guys out left and right. So with all that going on, Ghost Rider, right? He's like driving this, like, I'm not gonna lie, like it actually looks kind of cool. It's like weird looking, but like it's kind of cool. He has like this he has like this hell tractor, and he's just like saving people on. He's just like driving away with it. All right, so when he does that, you know, he gets everybody away, right? Ghost Rider, he's amazing in this story. Like Ghost Rider, oh my god, Robert Reyes, you goat. He's just like, all right, so like he's getting ready to leave, right? He's like, okay, this is a little too much for me. Like I never signed up for this. This ain't my job. And like Captain America, he's just like, you know, trying to convince him. He's like, I mean, you can leave if you want to, but I mean, we can really use the help, you know? You're probably the most powerful one here. Like, we can really, you know, use it. And, you know, he starts telling him, I mean, you turn that tractor into your little, you know, chariot just by touching it, you know? And Ghost Rider's, I mean, yeah, I kind of did. So he like looks over, right? He looks over, he sees this celestial dead body. He's just like, light bulb turns on, and he just like goes run over there, jumps inside the celestial. He just took over one of the celestial bodies. Oh my god. It is crazy what's about to happen in this story. So, with that happening, Ghost Rider just took over Celestial. You got the huge Thor and Hulk. All of them, like, they're about to get ready to just go fight those Celestials, right? Carol Danvers, Black Panther, they're still at the bottom fighting the little insects. And like the entire time, everybody's just like looking at Ghost Rider, like, oh my god, what is this guy on? Like, dude is like on another like it is amazing what's going on right now. So with that happening, you got Doctor Strange. You know, he walks up, he's like flying up to Loki, basically trying to, they're basically having like a sorcerer battle, you know, those two, because they're both the two magicians, they're the two that deal with magic and stuff like that. As soon as that happens, Iron Man's GK2 pops up, his Iron Man armor, the God Killer armor from like, it's like, we'll get to that story eventually, but basically he has like a God Killer armor. It was made by the Ashburns to kill Celestials, but they never got to like actually like use it for them. So Iron Man took it, and he's basically about to get ready to like wreck everything. Like this story is so amazing. All right, so with that going on, everybody is watching. Like everybody in the universe is just like watching this. You got Gladiator, you got the Unseen. Like everybody's just looking at what's going on right now. They're basically just like waiting, just like to see what happens. Because basically, if they lose this, the Earth is gone. Like they have to do something here. Everybody's fighting. You got everybody fighting. You got Thor. He's in there with the large Mjolnir. He's over there just like going to town on these Celestials, right? The Hulk, Ghost Rider, Iron Man, all of them. They're just fighting the Celestials up there, right? Because they're basically, all right. So like basically, they're not as powerful as the Celestials, but they're able to go, like, you know, they're able to keep up basically. Like they're not just like super just like outclassed at this point. You got Doctor Strange and Loki. They're fighting. Captain America, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel, they're all just like down there fighting the bugs. You got Ghost Rider. He's out there just like laying waste to all of them. And the entire time while Ghost Rider is like doing this, he's basically like siphoning off the memories of the Celestial that he took over pretty much. So he knows like all about these guys basically. So he's like learning and stuff like that. And like while they're doing that, Iron Man, he gets like his arm chopped off, and like he gets this idea, right? He's like he gets like this little idea, and he gets ready to just like start like flying one of these guys away and just like blow the entire suit up. He's just like trying to kamikaze that entire Celestial basically. So like all these guys, like they're like keeping up, but they're not winning pretty much. The Avengers. Ghost Rider, he's getting taken over by the insects basically, like they're crawling up on him. So Iron Man, what he's doing right now, he's like flying up, right? And while he's doing that, he like gets stopped, and he's like, oh my god, what is going here? And he's like, all right guys, we are done. So like soon as he gets there, every single Celestial, all the ones that were like falling out of those portals, like in the beginning of the story, all of them, they just come up and they just like grab Tony Stark. Like they grab his armor, he can't do anything. Every single one of the dead Celestials are like basically on the side of the Dark Celestials. They have no hope. They are like hopeless right now. They are not winning this fight. Everybody's over here fighting. Iron Man, he ejects himself, right? While he's doing that, Thor and Hulk, like their magic like starts like, you know, wearing off basically. They start shrinking. Iron Man, he gets out of his G case, his God Killer suit basically. So basically the only like firepower they have right now is Ghost Rider. And like the entire time, like while Tony Stark's like flying by him, he's just like talking. He's like, we're all God's vomit, you know, stuff like that. He's just like talking like no, like he doesn't know. Tony Stark don't know what he's talking about basically. And like basically what he's saying is he's asking like everybody like, do y'all know what this means? Like, does this mean anything to anybody? Like, talk to me, y'all. Like, what's going on? What is this guy talking about? And like Captain America, he like starts talking to him. He's like, oh well, that's basically like about what Loki was telling me about the very first Celestial that popped up, pretty much, you know, like basically he vomited and that's like where life came from, you know, stuff like that, from like when we first started this video, right? So everything, like all the giant Avengers that we have, they're gone except Ghost Rider. He's the only one there. Black Panther and Captain Marvel and Captain America, all of them, they're still down there fighting the bugs, right? That's when Tony Stark gets this idea. He gets this idea, right? Because like, you remember in one of the videos we actually talked about where him and Doctor Strange went to go meet with the Eternals basically, and like the only one that was alive was Icarus, and he was like talking to him, and he was like, okay, and he like tapped Tony Stark on the side of the face, right? And he gave him like the information on the Unimind basically. That's what Tony Stark is like about to throw out there. He's like, okay, we got to use the Unimind here, because if we combine all our powers, we can actually win this. So he's like talking, he's like telling everybody about it, and he's basically like trying to get everyone to do this. So they all just like start combining their powers, right? Every single one of them combines their powers and create this just crazy looking Ghost Rider, like, because Ghost Rider, he's the one that's like controlling the body, but he basically has the powers of all these guys, the powers of Thor, Doctor Strange, Hulk, like Captain Marvel. I was about to say Captain America, but he can't really do nothing. But he can't really do nothing. He has all of their powers. Like, he is so ridiculously OP here. He just like looks and he's like, all right, forget that. Punches the ground. Every single Dark Celestial here gets knocked away. Like, he just like incapacitated every single one of these guys with one punch to the ground. It is insane the stuff that is happening in this story. Oh my god. So wait, like they're just sitting there, right? And like they look up and like basically the final host, the Dark Celestials that were there, originally, they're basically still like, you know, being controlled by the host. I mean the horde basically. It's like they're still up. So eventually they just like all go in there fighting. And like while they going in there fighting, every single Celestial who wasn't a part of the final host, like all the dead ones who weren't controlled by the bugs at first, they come in fighting with them. Like they basically have a chance now. They're not just gonna, you know, go and just die, because they finally have the Celestials who were dead at the beginning. They're all on their side now. So they basically, the Avengers, Celestials, all of them are teaming up against these just the final host, which I think is only 3. So I mean they have a pretty good chance now. All right, so if you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed the story, leave a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see y'all in the next one.